Perfect. Okie dokie team. So I was a little chilly this morning, so I have my long sleeve on, but I'm pretty sure it'll come off pretty soon. All right, so everyone's gonna start seated, legs long, pull the toes up, and I just want you to feel like you're as super tall as you can be off of those hip bones or those sit bones, they call them. And either I want you to lean forward with a straight back, or I want you to lean forward with a rounded back. Whatever gives you more stretch for the back of your hamstrings, that's what I want to start with. So we'll hinge away and hinge forward. Just reach towards the floor, either in a curled or a straight back. I think today my stretch is coming from a straight back. So we'll see that there. I'll read that later. And roll and come back up. And whichever
There you are.
Ah, did I disappear? Interesting.
Oh, it was me, not you.
Cool. Okay, so after those hamstring stretches, make sure that you can keep your legs as long as possible. If there is a slight knee bend, that's okay, but just make sure that that is as long as your leg can go otherwise. All right, so moving on, side to side. So you can keep your legs here, you can crisscross applesauce them, you can cross them behind you for a old school mermaid stretch. So we're gonna put this here today as we reach up and over just to get more of that spine motion to be more pliable and all that good stuff. So we're reaching forward with a hamstring stretch, reaching sideways with the oblique stretch. Let's take about 3 more on each side. And up and over. Good, here's 2 more. Lift out of the hip, out of the rib cage, out of the elbow, long through the fingertip to the wall beside you. All right, so that's our side to side motion. Now we'll move into our twist. So for this one, let's go ahead and bend one knee, doesn't matter which one. I want you to turn your body towards that knee side, and I want you to take that now closest elbow either underneath that leg to pull yourself toward it, or on top and over that leg to push yourself away. So whichever you're doing, you're rotating out into a twist, coming back to neutral, resetting the leg, doing the opposite. So rotate towards that leg, either hug underneath to pull yourself in, or push your elbow on the outside of that knee to turn your body. Okay, so let's experiment with that. We've got at least 5 each side, so hopefully you can kind of get around in as much time as it takes me to move around. So we have here, starts the third one, and 3. Good. I'm gonna get a little hug on this one. 4, and 4, and last one towards the first side, and last one towards the second side. That's a pretty good old school stretch that I really haven't brought in to these mat workouts yet, and I don't know why. So now we've got a flexion motion, we had twist, we had rotation. Now we'll move into our extension. So we're just laying back onto your tummy. We are having our heads on our hands. And if bringing your back up off of the floor is terrible, just lift one leg up off of the floor at a time. So that will be your option if that's not so hot. If you can lift your chest up, lift up just a tiny bit, but keep your eyes looking towards the floor and then come right back down. So just a nice cool 10, just getting the spine open up in all the directions it goes, since it moves in 360 degrees basically. And lift, lower. Good. Yep. Alternating those legs, just make sure they're not going terribly high. They're just lifting one at a time. Lift one, lift two, lift one, lift two. Reach and release. Good. Last 2 like that. And back. Okay, so if you need to push back in a child's pose, go ahead and do so. If not, go ahead and just hang out there. All right, so now we're transitioning back over onto our back. We are laying completely back on the floor. For our 100 today, which I don't know why I did this kind of view, that's a terrible view of that one. What I'd like is for you to try to lift your head and shoulders up as high as you can. So if that means holding behind your legs the whole time, that's okay. I don't want you to start kind of falling back and releasing down, because if you do need to have your head down at any time, just go ahead and put it flat on the mat. So here we are, lifting the head and shoulders up, pressing the head as high as it can go. Legs can either straighten or stay bent. Inhale, pump the arms up 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale. Deep exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale. And an exhale. And inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. Good. This is the time where I see all the fuzzy stuff on my pants from rolling around on different things. Oh, it's a good time. Good. Keep the head and shoulders lifted as high as you can. So you're trying to touch that wall in front of you. Big inhale and an exhale. Last one, an inhale and an exhale. 2, 3, 4, and rest. All right, pull it back in underneath you. Go ahead and take those legs long. Let me go ahead and just stay facing this direction. The mat's just there for decoration, basically. So go up to the ceiling. A full roll up all the way through to the toes, making sure each bone gets curled over for 5. Curl it down. Big inhale, reach. Exhale, curl, lengthen up and over. And back. See, I have to take off my long sleeve because now I'm already warmed up into the right temperature. Good. And last 2. Curl up and over, reach and pull. Last one. Inhale there. Exhale. Curl it over and reach. All right. So from there, go ahead and lay back onto your back. I'm actually going to change costumes for a second. And pull the right knee in towards your body. Give it a good hug. Take it to the opposite side shoulder. And then take it to the same side wall. So here, here, and across, and out. Good. So hopefully that gives that hip just a little bit of space. Keeping the knee bent for these one leg circles today. Hands are long beside you. Take that knee across the body and around. So the reason why I want to make this lever shorter today is so that way we can really focus on how much we are anchoring through the hips and making sure that our hip socket, like those tendons, aren't popping a whole lot. They might get a crack here or two, but hopefully it shouldn't be as aggressive if you had the long lever of your heavy leg. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it does. And reverse. But I want to be super deliberate with just stirring that bone into the hip all by itself. So there's 4, over the top 5, reach around down 6, long 7, 8, 9, one more. Good, go ahead and press that foot back down. If you need to stretch it again, you may. Opposite leg comes up, and for sure we're gonna start with a stretch either across or to the opposite or to the same side wall. And then from there, hands will stay onto the floor, knee and tabletop. Pull that knee across the body and around. We'll have 10 like this. And here's 4. And here's 5. You may be asking, why not 12 today, Alex? That's for later. We're getting there. And pull and reach. Pull and reach. And out. Lift. Good. Last one. And reverse here. So press the knee away from you, across the body and up. And around. Good. Reach. 3, over 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Keep that other hip anchored. 9 and 10. All right. So same thing. Let's go ahead and just pull both knees in now. We will give them a nice little hug, perhaps a small happy baby if those inner thighs begin to work a little bit for those circles. All right, so now moving into our footwork. So hands ideally will stay right beside or underneath the hips. For the actual action of our pretend pushing off of the foot bar, what I'd like for you to think of is instead of going straight above you, I want you to press out to the wall in front of you, almost at the height that the bar would be. So basically, the height of the bar is pretty low. It's almost parallel with the floor. But I understand that that might be terrible on some of your backs or hips or whatnot. So just try to create a small diagonal wherever your happy medium is. And so heels together, toes apart, inhale there, exhale, push the toes to the wall, inhale back home. So this will be for 12. Hug that midline. Really feel like the heels and the inner thighs are connected and you're getting a nice tug as you reach and back home. There's work as you straighten the legs and work. Really feeling those muscles are shortening as they're holding together. Last 3 and 2, back. Last one, out and pull back home. Good. So rotate the feet to parallel. Roll those toes over the imaginary bar so they're in a C shape. Now from here, I understand that your knees might not stay together, and that's okay. So just press straight ahead and pull. Exhale, 2. Inhale, back. Out, 3 and home. Reach forward and back. Keep that C curve in the foot and back. Reach 6 and in. 7, just holding onto the floor. My hands are slightly underneath my hips just to keep me balanced better. If not, I'll kind of rock forward and back. And 9 in, 10, back. 11, reach, and 12. Fantastic. If you need to rock side to side at any time, you are more than welcome to. Now bringing the toes back, pressing the heels forward. Once again, it's okay if the knees don't touch, but keep them as parallel as possible. Press the heels out, pull the heels back in. So you're digging them through that wall in front of you, pulling the heels and knees towards you. Inhale, exhale, inhale, reach, exhale, pull, out and in, reach and dig. Really feel like you're carving a line underneath your heels, away from you and underneath you. And out, return, reach, and back. If you're feeling like you're warmed up and can go a little lower, go a little lower. Take it in. And 12. Good. Roll the ankles and toes around, maybe wobble the knees side to side or let them rest perhaps. Maybe that's a lot of hip flexor for you. Just kind of press them away from the body. If that's a lot for your low back, try to find some relief there with a twist or just straightening the legs. Okay, so moving on into our running. Now legs will be tall up to the ceiling. We will hold the legs behind the thighs. So go ahead and grab behind the thighs if you can. Push the heels up. I know I can't really see this. Push the heels up and point the toes. And then from here, drop the, so I'm going to bend my knees a second. So we're going to drop one heel and then just switch and switch and switch. So you're just pedaling on the ceiling by pushing the heel up, pushing the toe up, and alternating. Switch, switch, push, push. Try to focus on how far your toe comes back on each foot. Try to make sure that it's even. And also make sure that the toes are actually coming back in their train tracks. They're not coming off to the side or making funny detours. They're going straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up. Push, pull, push, pull. Here's 4 more. 3, 2, 1, and rest. I was saying that because my left was taking a detour. It was going kind of curvy. Anyhow, moving on to second position. Same action with the hands and the stability point underneath or beside your hips. We are pulling both heels back into space, turning the knees and toes slightly laterally, so out to the walls. So from there, find that diagonal, push away, pull underneath, and out. Inhale here, exhale, 2. Inhale, bend, 3. Ideally today, my goal is, if I make time for it, is to do this whole footwork series also standing. How do you do that standing? Well, it's basically a miniature squats. So if what I'll do in that time is I'll say, okay, here's what the plan is. Doesn't matter the depth or whatnot. But if you ever want to come back to do some of these, totally allowed to work on the core. Because this one will work more core than the squats will in a way. We'll have that coordination of gravity and rest. Good. So come on back. Let those toes and ankles just be where they need to. The next motion I want to do is parallel. I don't want to get into medial just because it's a lot of hip flexor in this orientation. So parallel the feet, but still out in second position. So hip distance apart, press the foot through the wall, pull back. Inhale, exhale, reach, and in, and long, pull. Good, 5, and back, 6. Try to keep those heels in one line, trying to have the right foot go one way and the left foot go one way. Although that could be fun, it's not ideal right now. We're working on the coordination and all the good stuff. Last one, reach, pull, and rest. All right, so shimmy the spine around as much as you need to. For our single leg footwork, we're going to try to take this up one more step. So initial step is either one knee stays in tabletop or one stays on the floor as the other leg will bicycle. This time, what I want you to do is as you bicycle one leg, you press the other one long, like as if you were really doing this on the reformer. It's a lot of coordination. I'll show you about 3 or 4, but we'll have 10 going forward and then we'll switch legs. So if you just want to pick your option and go for it, you go for it. If you want to hang out with me and try this, you're more than welcome to. So you're pressing through the bar, bicycling over, coming back. Pressing through the bar, bicycling over. What my words are saying are terrible, don't even worry about it. Keep your knee in tabletop and bicycle the other leg. That is your option, like this. You want to leave that foot down. I just want to anchor through that heel, press through that. Wherever we're going, just 10. So this is shorter than normal, and then we'll reverse. So I'm going to go ahead and do my first option, where I push to the bar and I bicycle over. I push to the bar, bicycle over. I think if you take some time, it could be fun. That's definitely me talking, but you know, fun is debatable in the Pilates world. Good. And so once you've done 10 to the first direction, go ahead and switch back to that first leg so that way you can move into the reversal, okay? So I'm going to press over the bar, lift and bend. Press over the bar, lift. Uh-oh, that was not as smooth as I thought it would be. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna keep my leg in tabletop on this one. It's doable, but your brain's gotta work really hard. You gotta go kind of slow and push around. If you're keeping that leg in tabletop or on the floor, just make sure that knee is pointing straight ahead, even in that hip socket. Okay, and here's my last one. All right, team. So now let's go ahead and reverse. I'm gonna do a couple of the whatchamadoodles here and reach. You press together, lift one, bend both back in. It's a hard word combo to say, but it's there. It's there. Reach and lift. Just gotta pretend you're on your reformer and reach. Hopefully it'll be soon that we can see you on them. And out and reach. Good. So after that 10th one, you've gone both directions. Hopefully, go ahead and rest both feet if they're not already. Swivel both knees side to side. Twinkle the toes, roll the ankles, whatever's good. All right, so from here, moving along into our imaginary lower lip and leg circles, we're going to have hands underneath. If you have a cushion close by, a foam roll or something that could prop yourself up, go ahead and grab that. Well, I mean, I haven't really showed it with a pillow recently, so I'll show it with some pillows. I have some close by. But this is definitely not necessary. You can just have your hands underneath your hips, but I would place them under you like that, so kind of more like mid-hip-ish. Hands will be on the floor for me now, and then legs will come up to the ceiling. So turn the toes out a little bit, so that way you can release some of that hip flexor tension, pull the heels together, and you can start hugging the midline, so you can really feel that inner thigh down to the calf, down to the heel, holding on to each other. And the lower lip is tiny, so you're just barely going to get a little paintbrush on the ceiling as you lower and lift, lower and lift. If you feel that you want to go a little farther, go ahead and lift your head and shoulders up like we do in lower and lift in our ab series, and that'll get you more of that. This is mainly just for hugging that midline right now, finding that coordination through the inner thigh, wrapping the seat basically, and release. All right, so rest legs if you need to. Moving on into leg circles. Continue trying to keep the toes turned out just for your hip flexor safety, but you can also do this parallel if that just feels like there's range for it. So we'll go out towards the walls, down towards the floor, in and lift. Out, down, in and release. We'll have 10 each direction. Keep this one pretty mild since we have to go both directions. And a reach. Good. 5 and up. Out. 6. Lift. Up. 8. and reach. Oh, my lefty did a short circle there. And last one. Good. Now reverse that circle. Press down, out, lift, and together. Down, out, lift, together. Reach away. 3 and 4. Lift. 5. Together. 6. Away. 7. Try to keep anchoring that rib cage down through the floor as your legs go away from you. So as it's pulling in opposition. And last 3. Together. 2. And back. Last 1. Fantastic. All right. Pull those knees down. Give them a nice little run around. Shimmy there, shimmy there. One thing that's kind of cool, so we can still do that stag pattern even though we don't have our feet in the straps. So heels or toes are apart. Bend the right knee, extend the left leg away from you. So you should feel like you're in a little check mark almost. Bring both legs back up to the ceiling, bend the left, extend the right. Come back home and stretch. Inhale here, exhale, push. Inhale and exhale. If this is beginning to bother your hands on your hips type of thing, you can definitely separate your hands now since you're not lowering and lifting. There's not as much kind of grinding in the hip. So if you need to do that, please do. And out, lift. If you're suspended like me, probably feels super groovy, super awesome. And reach, pull together, press it away. Pull together, press it away. One more toward your left. Out, lift. Last one right and left. Good. That one I just find super comfortable, and we haven't done that very often. Like many of the things I've been noticing, I'm like, man, I haven't even given y'all this before. And I'm just going to stretch there for a second. Okay. So now go ahead and bring the feet down. If you have something underneath you, take it away. And I'll just put that in my little pad right there. All right. So now you're like, where are we, Alex? We're not even in an order. It's okay because we know where we're going. I want you to pull the right knee towards you. I want you to lift the left leg up into your single leg stretch. Head and shoulders can stay down or lifted. If you have that cushion or pillow perhaps still next to you, maybe you just put it underneath your neck. All right, so here we go. We'll pull and switch. We will have 5 on each side, super fast. 3 and 3, 4 and 4, 5 and 5. If you can, keep your head and shoulders lifted for the double leg stretch. Hands and feet go up and out. Pull the arms around and inhale here. Exhale, push the arms away. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, swim. Last 2, reach and reach. Pull and pull. Last one, up and out. Swim and rest. Same thing, maybe keep your head up, maybe come back down, whatever you need. Both legs to the ceiling for scissors. Both hands behind the right calf, pull, pull, and switch. Pull, pull, switch, pull, pull, switch. Here's 3, up and switch, forward, up and switch. Here's 5, and last one left, and both legs together. Hands go behind your head or underneath your hips for the lower and lift. Same thing, you can keep your head lifted if you can. Ready for the legs to lower down for 1 and up for 1, down for 2, up for 2, down 3, lift, down 4, up, 1 more, and bend the knees. Into the crisscross we go. Feet can stay in tabletop or on the floor. Rotate towards your right as you twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, rotate as you pull that knee in. Reach over 2. Inhale, center. Exhale, up and over 3. Inhale, exhale, reach. And here's 4 to the right, back, 4 to the left. Last one, each direction being as tall and as long as you can. And then finally resting the head down, bringing the legs down with you. Oh, it's a good time. Okay, so we're going to roll over. So we're going to look towards the floor. We are going to press up into a child's pose. Reach that hip as far as you can away from the hands. All right. And then from here, let's go ahead and move into a saw. So with the legs straight, you can face whichever direction you like. And well, actually, too, if you can't have the legs straight, I should say, you should bend those knees a slight bit, and that way you can kind of rotate back onto those sit bones a little easier. Okay, in the saw, we have a couple options. Hands can stay in a genie pose or out to a T. I want you to rotate towards one leg and either reach to that foot or lift that foot towards you. So if you have a genie pose arms, we'll still rotate and either reach the elbow to the knee or lift the knee toward the elbow. Inhale, center, exhale, twist, and reach. So I'll do a combination of all of those options. We will have 12 each side, so we'll be here for a while. And reach. There's 3. Lift. And forward. Good. Try to reach far through that wall. And up. Take it away. And lift. Good. 6. And 6. 7. Reach. And 7. Good. Here's 8. All the way through. So really twisting, reaching through that side body. And 9. Up. 9. Good. And 10. Reach. 10. Reach. 11. And up. Good. Last one each side. I know it's been a little bit. Very good. All right. Bring the legs together. You can round your back just as much as you need to. Get a stretch there. And then from here, I want you to come more towards the front edge of your workspace or your mat. Both heels are anchored. Both toes are coming back towards you. And I want you to have the hands on a shelf. From here, tuck the tailbone under or hinge back and roll all the way back until you are on your back. Awesome. Okay, so hands, let me move out of this chair hazard. Hands will be beside the hip, so not underneath your hip on this one. This is a corkscrew. Both hands are just beside you. Pull both knees either into tabletop or straight up towards the ceiling. And moving into corkscrew, start by pointing the toes and draw a circle going towards your right, down to the floor, over to your left, and up to the ceiling. So it's tiny. And then trace that circle, go in the opposite direction. Good. Now, if you can, make that circle bigger. Still staying grounded into the hands. And reverse. Good. Now make it a little bigger each time you go towards the right and trace the same circle towards your left. Perfect. And you know it, this is going to be for 12 and take it around. So if you need to stick with that small circle or just gradually increase your circumference, that term there, do so. But wherever you need to stay, stay. And reach. I'm going to try to keep building onto my circle so that way it looks like a nice big sun when I'm done. And out. Reach. Too bad I can't go much more over my head though. It really cuts off my circle. And out. Good. So take your time, make sure we're getting to 12. I'm currently finishing up my 10 here. And 11. And 11. Oh, the 12 is a huge one. And 12. Good. All right. So hopefully if you played around with that one, you found where maybe your new limit is or where your warm-up space could be. From here, go ahead and rock back up to sit. And we'll move into rolling like a ball. So ideally, hands are on the front of your shins, right, either underneath your knee or down towards your ankle. I'll let you choose. You have 5 to 10 here. Lift the feet up, curl the spine in, rock and roll, hold. Good, rock and roll. Feel that tailbone scoop up and underneath to rock and lift, hold. Reach. Good. And up, last 2. Well, it's a range, you can do whatever you want. I just picked 7 because it was cool. And put the feet down. Okay, so from here, once you're through with that rolling like a ball, I want you to be over onto your tummy one more time. This time, you can either keep your hands stacked and your head on your hands as a pillow, or you can prop yourself up onto your forearms. Where we're going is just some small leg circles, leg lifts, and twists from here. So I'm gonna do this in a propped up version. It's the exact same if you do it lower on your pillow. Okay, Right leg will lift up to the ceiling. We'll make small circles on the wall behind you 12 times in one direction. Does not matter. Just keep going that one direction. Stay long through the crown and long through that rib cage. Reach over and over and over. Last two, one, reverse. Press in and around, in and around. So that opposite direction is going to feel funny. That's okay. Try to get as much space as you can into that circle. You're still tracing that circle. A lot of circles today. I know. Reach, reach, reach. Last two, one, and release. Go ahead and switch legs. Come up off of the floor, out and around. So full disclosure, my thigh is staying on the floor for the most part. It has a gentle lift of the knee is off, but so don't feel terrible if you are not lifting your complete leg off of the floor. I think that might be impossible, perhaps. Well, nothing's impossible, I should not say that, but it wouldn't be as controlled. Now reverse that circle. Push away from you and back into the body for 12, 11, 9, and 8, 7, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Good. Wiggle the toes, roll the ankles around, all that good stuff. From here, staying in that extension, and I know it's hard. If you need to change positions, please do, or go into a child's pose. That first leg, that right leg, I want you to lift it and lower it. So you're just reaching up to the ceiling and down. Have your heel touch the ceiling, not your bum, the ceiling, and come back. 6 and 7. Lift 8. Stay long, 9, 10, 11, and switching legs. Lift tall, 1, reach 2, 3. So don't worry about how much the heel comes towards you. That's not the goal. Heel's going up and away, so it's tracing out the line to the wall behind you. Reach, lift, lift. Last 2, and 1, and release. Good. So if you need to push back into a child's pose in between each one, please do. Let me get a tiny stretch on my right side there. Okay. And then from here, our last one is our rotation. So this one's going to be the weirdest one. But if you're familiar with our side lying series, when we rotate the toes up and down, it's that motion, just side to side. So lift that right leg up slightly. Turn the toe to the outside of your mat. So you're rotating out laterally. Now rotate that toe medially. So your toe is going out, in, out, in, out, in. Rotate away, rotate parallel or narrow into medial. And just from that knee joint, knee and toes, twisting and twisting. Left, right, left, right. It's a little weird because you can't even really see my foot, but know that it's twisting for you. And rest. All right, stretch out whatever you need to. Press into the arms or lay onto that pillow. Other leg is lifted, toes pointing down towards the floor. Turn it out to the side beside you, so left for me, and then into the right. So I know for sure this one you can't see, so we'll move a little bit. Okay, out and medial, lateral, medial, push and pull, out and in. So this is working ideally those internal rotators at the hip. It's making them pull in a different gravity aspect than we have normally. Reach and back. Last 3, 2, and 1, and rest. All right, so for sure, if you need to, go ahead and press back into that child's pose. I'm gonna get one for decoration as I reach my hip up past my fingertips because that just feels good. Okay, good. So from here, we're gonna walk forward a little bit if you need to, and we'll move into our 4-point stance work. So today, I want you to have just pure balance. So if this is terrible on your knees, I want you to come back either onto the hip or up onto the toes. So you're gonna be here or all the way down here, okay? And balance is still gonna be, so basically it's gonna have one leg, one arm away from you. Perhaps we might need to start with just one arm and one leg. So here's the ideal. If that's terrible on either the knee or the shoulders, we can just do 1 and 1. Also being on the floor or being on the toes. So here's what it looks like being on the toes. It's a small lift and release. So it's more of a, whoa, don't look and then lift at the same time. That's a bend and then back. Now I feel like all pain having to look and actually move. Don't do it. Just look, see what I'm doing, and then come back because that was That was terribly hard. Okay, so whichever is your 4-point stance, we'll alternate sides. And if you're doing one limb at a time, go arm and then back. Do the opposite arm, back, one leg and back, opposite leg and back. So just kind of work around the clock, you could say. And reach back. All that to say, you're going one limb at a time, go about 3 revolutions. If you were doing 2 limbs at a time, we will have 12 each side. Reach and reach, out and back. I really wanted to make this day be more extension focused, just because a lot of us have been facing forward or doing things in front of us for a good while without a bunch of load, going backwards in the reverse. Okay, so here's 3 more, for me at least. You probably started a lot earlier. And out. Good, last 2. Stay nice and strong in that spine, even if you're on the standing feet. Good, and then from there, put the toes under, roll the wrist around, adjust whatever is necessary, and maybe get off the knees if you need to. All right, so from there, we are going to flip back over onto your seat. We are doing the kind of the mid section of our short box series on the short box. So that means you are going to pretend that we're going to be in a tree. Obviously, there's nothing helping hold on to your feet, so we're going to really have to plant through the bottom of your foot. Okay, so facing your front of the reformer, both knees are bent, one hand is underneath one leg is planted. It can be bent or straightened, whatever's better for your hip flexor. Sitting as tall as you can, straighten and bend that top leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and reach. Good. Now from here, I either want you to walk your hands out to that ankle for that leg to be straight, or keep the hands underneath the knee, but keep the legs straight. All right, wherever you choose, we are going to rock back towards the wall behind you and sit tall. So roll away from your leg, lift, out, woo, and lift. So keep your leg pretty heavy into your arms so that way they stay straight, they stay on, they're holding on to something, and out, lift. Good, reach and tall. This one will only do just 10 as well. And out. Good, last one. And then we will climb for 5. So keeping your leg as long as you can, walking the hands back to your knee and back to that thigh. We will roll away from the leg. When you can't anymore, go ahead and roll back up. Just be as nice and tall as you can. So roll back. This is only for 5. So this is not feeling too hot. Go back to the rocket rolls. Here's 3. As we roll down, lift, lift, lift. Good, forward and up. Good, last one, take it away. And a lift, 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 and release. Good, so just put that foot back where you started. Go ahead and switch legs, hands behind the knees. Start sitting as tall as we can. Off of those hip bones and shoulders are back. Straighten and bend that leg for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and reach. Good. So wherever the leg needs to reach to now, this might be different compared to the other one, rocking and rolling for 10. So we're taking it away and lifting. Leg is heavy into the arms to create that tension and pull, push. So your rib cage is pulling back towards the mat as you lift, reach, and the heart comes through. Here's 3 more and back. I might have missed one. This might be true 3 more, but it's okay. I'll go with the extra credit one just in case. And lift, last. All right, so now choosing where you are holding on to start your climb, sitting as tall as you can, then curling the spine back as you walk down and walk tall to the toe. Good. Walk away, 2, and lift. Walk away, 3, and 4. Back and tall, last one. Out, out, out. And a reach, reach, reach. and rest. All right, crisscross applesauce those legs for just a second. Rock side to side, perhaps, maybe butterfly, whatever is available for you in your back. From here, we are changing directions, making the box long, and we're moving into our arm series. So we're pretending like we're facing the front of the reformer, which is the mirror side, moving into our offering. Starting off with hands in the straps behind us, we are pressing hands through the mirror and releasing back down. So reach through and back. I feel like there's some resistance here. If you randomly have something close by that's heavy enough that you want to lift it up. I mean, you know, if I was getting crazy, I could just lift some pillows. Basically like marshmallows. I could juggle marshmallows, I'm sure. And back. So if you're just 12, taking it away, lifting it tall, and back. Good, last two, and one. Very good. Now from here, offering two as elbows are bent into the rib cage, press the hands out, take the thumbs wide, doesn't matter how wide, just wherever you can, pull the pinkies back, pull the elbows in. So push out, reach away, pull together, and bend. Forward, out, in, back, forward, out, in, back. Even though you're not holding something, if you're not, really feel like you're pushing through those muscles, you're moving the walls back, you're moving the walls together and back in. You can create as much resistance as you want to in your own muscles. If you push, pull, pull, and reach. 3 more like that. And here's 2. And in, here's 1. Out, together, and back. All right, everyone's favorite now, tricep time. So what I'd like for you to do is press your elbow behind you so your hand is palm facing the floor at the hip height. I'm making sure that my shoulder just stays down. So if that's helpful for you, do so. I just don't want to get here. So keep that down. Take that hand and press as far back. So notice I'm keeping my wrist bent. For this one, keep your wrist bent just because it'll act a little bit more as a longer lever for your tricep. So from there, press away, inhale, and exhale. This is basically like hamstring curls when you bring your heel to your seat. Just maximizes that muscle contraction more. So we'll have this for 12. Push and pull, reach and bend. Good, out and back. Really feel like you're pressing the ceiling up with the heel of your hand, out and reach. Last 2 and 1. Good, rest that arm for a second. Other arm is the same thing. Let me just change it up a little bit. Okay, so we're behind you and we'll press the palm back and then reach 2, back, 3 and 4, 5, inhale, exhale, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, last 2, 11, and 12. Good, okay, so now this next one, I'm a little too close for y'all to see. So what I'd like is that first arm is to go up by your ear. I know this might not be super ideal, but if you can get it there in some direction, please do. If not, continue doing this one for the next 12. For this new one, arm is reaching the ceiling. We are bending the elbow forward and the palm is reaching behind you. So this hand's reaching back to my wall behind me. Elbow staying here. If you need to hold your elbow, hold it. If you can leave it there, just leave it there and just push the ceiling up, pull the ceiling down. 2, inhale, exhale, 3. So wherever the legs need to be for this one, but the elbow staying as close into the body as it can be, and back, reach. I guess I could have faced you too, but then you can see how crooked my arm kind of is, and reach. It's okay. I have to encourage mine as well, guys. And bend, straighten. It's just programmed funny. Bend and reach. This tells you that I have a little bit of some blockage in my shoulder if I can't keep this by my ear, which is what I can't do right now. Okay, so we have 12 there. Other arm, if this one can't go up, put this one back here. So maybe this one's different. Maybe it can go up, it can bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. I'm gonna encourage that elbow. So for me, it's almost as if my pinky has to lead the way. Thumb's going down to the floor behind me and the pinky's going up. If that helps get that range better for you, do so. But it comes with a cost, of course. And make sure that you have to press the ceiling up, pull it down to make sure this ulnar and radius stay where they need to. It's not their fault that my shoulder has problems. Okay, I was not counting. This will be my 10, this will be 11, this will be 12. Okay, so hopefully that was in the close ballpark range of all that. Once you're through with all that goodness, we're gonna lay onto our back one more time. This time it would just be for bridges. So kind of back to normal schedule. We did our little reformer insert right there, and we will be back onto your back. All right, team. So what I'd like from our bridges today is to start the feet in parallel, very similar to where our footwork started. Heels together, toes apart. Sorry, I said parallel. I meant narrow. Sorry. Narrow footwork like we did before. Okay, so heels are together, toes are apart. The knees does not matter how far away they're going right now, just as long as they are turned away from each other. Hands are down. We are pressing into the heels, lifting the hips up and holding. We are rolling back down all the way until that tailbone hits, and then we'll roll all the way back up. This one will be a set of 12. So we're gonna have a nice plethora of bridges today. Basically one set at each footwork spot. Lift and lower. Good, I think I have budgeted plenty of time to get into our standing footwork just fine. So I think we're on a roll, guys. This is gonna be a great day. Lift and release. And if you feel like rolling is just doing terribly for today, just go ahead and lower down with a straight back. That is a-okay if that is bugging up your back or something. Roll and lift. Really pressing through the heels, pressing through the hamstrings and glutes. This whole back leg package is working for you. Last one, up and back. Good, so your second position in narrow, now that I know my words, is forward. And since we can't really roll our arches up too much here, this one will just be heels. So lifting the toes up slightly, pressing the heels down, lift into the bridge, and release. So you're hugging that midline, knees are going straight ahead, everything's in parallel. If available, toes are lifted. And reach, release. 5, and back. 6, and out. 7, back. 8, really anchoring those heels. 9, shoulders are also steady. 10, 11, back, and 12. Beautiful. All right, now from here, this will be a little terrible to do running as well, so we're going to skip that, move into our second position. So now this is wide. Toes will rotate out towards the walls beside you. Okay, not the most fashionable one, but here we go for 12. Bring it up, bring it down. Try to press through the whole foot, all 10 toes and the heels. 3, release. 4, and lift. 5, release. Good. Up. 7, and back. 8, release. Try to get a little higher on the hips each time. 9, so you're actively having to press through the heels a little more. And up, release, lift. Uh-oh, lost count. I'm gonna say that one's 10. 11 and 12. I was too worried about making sure your toes were down. All right, so like before in footwork, let's not go all the way medial, just move to parallel. That'll feel medial enough anyhow, especially out wide. Okay, push for 12 and back and up and up. Alex, this is a ton of bridges. Why are we doing this? You know, I'm just inviting all the possibilities, just all the opportunities. It really goes by, I feel like, a lot faster when you have a goal of footwork to kind of get through. But I understand. Lift, lower, and tall, release, up, and back. Be as tall as you can, all 10 toes on the floor, both heels nice and anchored. Try to almost feel like your arches are lifting up off of the floor, like your foot's a little suction cup. And 12. Ta-da! Okay, so straighten the legs. We will not do any single leg ones today, but from here, go ahead and rock or roll up to half a feet. Brilliant. All right, so moving into our seal. So either with, make sure, yeah, we're getting there, we're getting there. Either with traditional seal, hands underneath the ankles, or rolling like a ball type of seal. Hands will be where they need to. Lift the feet up, and then again, arrange 5 to 10, wherever is the best for you and your back. Rock and roll. Hold, good, rock nice scoop of that tailbone under, maybe add a clap, clap, and on the back. Good. Reach. And the last one for me. Good. If you're feeling awesome, go ahead and cross your legs to stand up. If you need some extra time, go ahead and come on up. I'm going to go ahead and move my camera up to my standing height a wee bit. Okay. So like we said, we'll be into our footwork standing. Heels together, toes apart. Here's the kicker. Having your feet as close as they are here won't let you get as much depth as you normally do, so just know that. You can keep them together and just bend as far as you can to keep both heels and toes down, or you can separate just slightly, not completely second position, but just slightly, so that way you can get a little bit more range. All right, so choose where you want. We have 12 of those, and here's 3 for me. Good. 4. Entertaining house I have. 5 and 6. I like to have my balance in front. You can have it wherever you need to, holding on to whatever, but trying to keep those heels anchored. Not a true demi-plie on my part, but you know, you get it. If only I had my ballerina ankles again. Okay, moving on into our parallel feet. Obviously still not doing arches, just heels, and then we are going to sit back into the hip and lift tall. So sit away. Again here, try to keep the toes as well, just for balance mostly. If you can do this with just being heels on, lifting the toes up, you might need a gold star. So take it away and left. Like I said, if this is not hot pressure, not so great pressure, to say it's kind of hot, go back onto the mat and have the floor footwork. Just another little set of those. Good. Last 2. Bend and lift. Last one, bend and lift. Good. Okay, now we'll move into that second position work. So this is at least shoulder width apart or more. Toes are rotated out. From there, have those knees follow the toes. So grand plie and back home. This one I feel like I can do well. I have a little arm on my bar. I can lift. Okay, I really don't know, but that's what it feels like it was back in the day. If anyone else was there, let me know. Reach and back, pull and push. So you're actively kind of pulling your body down to the floor. You're pressing it up through the heels. Pull from the inner thighs, press through the heels. Everything is in opposition. And we have 2 more. Reach and pull. 1 more. And out. All right. From here, feet to parallel. If you're just really comfortable with knees immediately rotated, you can. That's a little bit tricky on the outside of the knees, so just be careful. Knees going, or toes, knees going straight ahead to parallel, kind of sitting back and lifting. So once again, heels, toes, all of it is working. And forward. We are pulling, pushing. Inhale and exhale, 6. Inhale and exhale, 7. And 8. 9. Good, 10. Last 2, 11. Back and 12. Reach and release. Sweet. All right. So then roll the ankles and toes around. I know I've cut into basically all your time right now. So have a great rest of your day.